So this is the speedometer cable. I got it running to the back of the speedometer. And when we go down the road, the front tire is so much taller than a stock front tire. That's a stock VW. So that's going to make the speedometer a little slower than what you're actually moving. But once we get the street tires back on, looking into the seatbelt situation, and the frame has holes, 1, 2, and that one's got the seatbelt bolt going right through it. The frame's got holes built into it. I think that's going to be my seatbelt anchor point right there. Goes down, goes under, comes through the hole in the seat. And as for the seats, they sit in there behind this pipe. I think I'm going to leave them just sitting in place. After you go mud bogging, you take them out and wash them. The seatbelt will hold you and the seat in. Then when you're in the parking lot someday, somebody steals your seat. So on the seat belts, I was going to drill a hole here, but that's a little bit thin. I mean, it's probably thick enough. So instead I found this piece of chain. I'm going to run the bolt through there. It's going around this. This is good and strong. I'm guessing stronger than that. I'm going to chain it. And it shouldn't rattle if you've got your seatbelt on tight enough. Little buggy update. As much as I love these rusty chrome wheels, these are actually 6 lug. I drilled 2 holes, and it's kind of a temporary. Got the white wheels back on the back of the buggy. So I'm not going in the mud anytime soon. I think I'll take this cover back off the engine. You can always put it back on. It's just 3 screws. And that's how muddy the engine got last time we went mud bogging. Just barely. So I need to hook up the alternator, and the carburetor's not wanting to idle once it gets hot. I'm going to investigate that. That's what we're going to work on right about now. The idle problem. It could be these rubber boots are loose. I'm going to start by trying to tighten those up. So the buggy didn't want to idle. What I did, I tightened up these 2 hose clamps on that little rubber boot on both sides. And downstairs, I put in these 2 gaskets. Now it idles just fine. Here on the Dune Buggy, I'm looking at some air filter options. This is a little cheap piece of foam. It gets the job done, but it's not real good when it comes to rain, when it comes to mud. I've got an old stock. This is an oil bath air filter. It's got oil down the bottom to catch the dirt. And I've got a bigger oil bath air filter from Volkswagen. If we come over to that one, when dirt gets beside that sponge, it likes to sit on this bottom plate, and it'll work its way down into the carburetor. Dirt in your carburetor is not good. If that was an oil bath, the oil would catch it. So the way this stock air filter works, air comes into this hole, and the bottom there's oil. The oil catches the dirt, and only the air can get into your engine. It's a really good system. I think this is the one I'm going to go with. I couldn't use it in the past because the TP exhaust was in the way. Now that the TP is gone, this will fit right on. Okay, with the air filter off, feels like it might be time for a cold start. It's cold, trust me on it. Key on, pat the gas, put her in neutral. Now I've got the old air filter on, the new to me air filter, and if I go to put the sheet metal back on, it's going to stick up a little bit too high. So what I'm thinking is I can cut a hole in the sheet metal, mount this on there, cover that hole. That might would work. Or put a fake snorkel on there, who knows? Now on the exhaust, this is entirely too loud. I drove down the road yesterday and I felt bad for the neighbors. They might have been taking their Sunday nap. I doubt they could sleep through that. So I've been cutting the Flowmaster off of the old dual exhaust off of my old Camaro. I'm gonna see if that'll fit. In theory, it should slide right on this pipe. Let's see how it does. Here's the Flowmaster. I just cut it off. I might need to take the grinder and polish it up a little bit. Then we're gonna see if it fits. Okay, this Flowmaster is fully on. Fit really good. Slid right on there. Now, we need to fire it up and see what it sounds like. Let's do a cold start. Key on, add a gear, pat the gas. Christmas back there, snowing. So today I bought a little care packet for the Dune Buggy. Got some cut off wheels for the grinder. One of the headlight bulbs was out, so I found a new headlight bulb. And these are brake wheel cylinders for the back, so we can actually have back brakes. This line, it goes to the back. So now we've got something we can work on the buggy. So this bulb will be going inside of that headlight. I also picked up a cup holder. This is traditionally for a bicycle, but I thought the passenger might feel a little bit jealous. Thinking maybe right there would be a good spot. Down, out of the way. Yeah, that might be it. That's the old bulb. Looks like it would work, but it don't. It's on its way out. This is the new bulb going into position. So the little screw goes here. There's a ground wire that goes on it. I'll put it back together and we'll see if she burns. Here on the Dune Buggy, working on the charging system, and it's real simple. I gotta get a wire from here to the battery, and from here to some kind of, when you turn the key on, it becomes hot, and there needs to be a light in there, like an idiot light. Now what I'm using for my wire, it's a little big, but it'll work. This is going to the alternator. And for the wire to the battery, it simply goes here, goes around the corner, into the parts washer box, and right to that battery cable. Easy. Alternator update, it's completely wired. This one goes to your positive battery terminal. This one goes up to the idiot light and the speedometer. And I even hooked up the ground wire to the frame. There was already a hole here. I just put a screw in it. However, the idiot light still stays on, meaning we need to do something with this alternator or replace it. Looks right to me. Here on the back I've got both brakes taken apart. It's now time to start putting them back together. And it might be time to try out my cup holder. That'll work. And if we look in the trunk, I also have these wires. I just put these in a couple nights ago. These are out of the boat project. Didn't need them in the boat. Chunky. They're going to run up to the front console. That'll be for things like headlights, blinkers, brake lights, horn. I've also picked up this short brake line. It goes underneath the trunk from one side to the other, and I ran the 6-foot piece of brake line. It goes all the way up to the master cylinder. I've got to pull out this switch and screw it in there. One down, one to go. This is the driver's side wheel cylinder. It's in. This goes in that hole just like that. The bolt comes through, secures it. There's your bleeder valve. That comes out on the way in. And then the line just screws into that hole there. You probably already know how brakes work, but just in case, when you hit the pedal, it pushes fluid into the cylinder. The cylinder expands and opens up these two brake shoes. They rub on the brake drum. That's Brakes 101. Now, let's go hook up that line on the master cylinder, bleed the brakes. By the way, I'm loving this impact wrench we found inside the road. Loving it. So I've got my dash all ripped apart. Here's the new wires I'm putting in. And my first goal, I'm going to get these headlights working. That's this new switch. We're going to put in this switch right about now. Okay, headlight switch update. I decided to put it down here. When you flip it, the lights come on. This is now my brake lights until I get those fixed up. And if you'll notice, the generator light comes on. It's not night yet, but here's where the headlights shine. We might go do some night driving tonight. Okay, it's finally dark and we're going to try out the headlights.